especially with them starting the season the way that they should have ended the other season. It seemed like they were going to go somewhere further with it, but obviously the show's not all about her, so they wouldn't do that. But
Is he going away just so that he's out of the way and not bothering anybody anymore? Like, that's kind of what I took from it.
Now he's like, he thought he got rid of this part of his past. Now he's dealing with it, and he doesn't know how to deal with it any other way but going back to drugs.
you know, like everybody has all these guilt things when it comes to somebody that they care about that dies. So in his situation where he was responsible for his death, he will straight up say, "I killed him."
I just think it's tropey cliche. Like, it worked for Rocky 3. And that's really about it.
This episode
Seemed like
Spider-Man 3.
Hello, all of you wonderful people out there in podcast land. Welcome to another episode of Black and White Reviews. My name is Will.
Hello, all of you wonderful people there in broadcast land. Welcome to another episode of Black and White Reviews. My name is Chuck.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Black and White Reviews. My name is Lee.
Good job, guys.
And
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
And today we're going to be
with
discussing...
our powers combined.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Was the ring.
So actually, hold on. Speaking of that, why are they not making that like live action?
What, the one with Don Cheadle?
No.
Have you seen that?
Captain Planet.
Have you seen the Captain Planet video with Don Cheadle? It was like a Funny or Die thing. It
But
was
this is
really
like
funny.
Talk about in today's culture where everything is diverse and inclusivity.
I know.
It's got everything in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
because all that Hollywood wants to do right now is take something that's not diverse and then just make it diverse in a way that makes no sense for the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, like a Puerto Rican Snow White.
She's Dominican.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference.
That's very valid.
Okay.
You done?
So,
Today we're talking about Season 2 episode I Don't Know of Titans, titled
this is season
Atonement?
2, episode 9.
Season 2 episode 9, Atonement.
Mm.
This was a nothing of an episode. I don't know what happened. How it's like they hit the reset button for some reason. Because we're starting a whole bunch of new stories, and I guess what comes along with that is a lower budget, because there was a scene where some purple slime crawled into somebody's ear, and it was the fakest looking thing that I've ever seen. And then there was a dummy that went flying through the air. Like, you actually, like he's beating up the cop, he goes flying through the air, and you actually see the dummy fold in the air and go fly. I was like, what happened?
This episode
Seemed like
Spider-Man 3.
So we watched this on Friday, right? Together. It was your first time watching it.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad that I finished up with Jericho, rewatched Jericho. I don't want to say anything about it. Oh, it is this episode. Yeah. Yeah, this episode's strange. And the way that it ends seems like a season ender. Like
Yes.
a season ending episode.
Yeah.
The whole episode
Because
felt like a reset.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
and this should have been like, okay, here's how we're gonna start. Like, we'll be starting from something after this
No,
in the
it's
next season.
Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
Why is it
Do you wanna
Spider-Man
know?
3?
Why? Because Jake Gyllenhaal did what?
No. Because in Spider-Man 3, it was stupid in Spider-Man 3 too, but when he forgets who he is, he gives up all his powers.
That's two.
Well, no, when he's Venom,
Okay.
you know, he's not Spider-Man anymore. He becomes the black
Yeah.
black suit Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right? Or even in Spider-Man 2, either or. When he forgets who he is, and this is more like Spider-Man 3, because it's like he doesn't forget who he is. He's just like, oh, I've done something bad and evil and stupid, and I'm doing this. And now this is the thing that is like the end-all, say-all. Gar has it in his mind that, hey, everyone's going to come back together, which they are going to, obviously.
Mhm.
How they fully do it, we don't fully know.
No.
But they're going to. But this is Dick Grayson coming to the bottom of the barrel for himself before he picks up before he picks up the mantle of Nightwing. But to do that, he had to come to this place first.
Yeah.
Now he'll become Nightwing soon. And since this episode has 13 episodes, in 3 more
I think there's 4 more episodes.
In 4 more episodes, we'll figure out how that happens. But we had to come to the end for him to pick back up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Spider-Man 3.
I will say it's kind of cool, just knowing where it sort of goes here. It is kind of cool the way that they kind of get to, Nightwing. We know we're working towards Nightwing still. We're working towards it. We're going to eventually see it. When are we going to see it? We'll see. But you're recognizing he's at the end of himself.
Right.
He's all the way down at the bottom, and what's he going to do to get himself back up? He needs a transformation. He needs some type of major change. So
we had to get here for that to happen.
Right. So this episode,
outside of that, this entire episode is exposition.
Yeah.
And film.
No, that's what it is.
It's filler.
And that's why. Yeah. Right. I mean,
and when I said that it feels like a reset, I'm just talking about in terms of all of the other characters. It feels like every character on the show hit the reset button, and now we're doing something different. And it's weird because it's not a finale or a premiere. It's not even the penultimate episode of a season.
No.
We're 4 away. So it's like, whoa, why start anew here?
That's what I've been saying about this show is they don't they're putting the wrong episodes in the wrong place in the story.
This is the second time that third if you count the finale and the premiere, but this is this is it was
the way this ends seems like the end of a season.
Right.
Yes.
But the whole episode is just like, what? Huh?
And that's the only real qualm I have with this TV show so far.
Yeah. I mean, there are some really interesting things that come out of it, and there's still some, I know, again, I've seen it, but there's questionable stuff that comes in here where I know you guys are kind of like, I don't get it. What's going on here? But you might get it, especially after watching, some of the recent episodes that lead up to it. I didn't get it right away, but this last time, kind of running through it again, I was like, oh, I guess I kind of understand. So here's the rundown of the episode. Dick tells the team what he did, in a sense. They all bail on him.
Hank punches him in the face. And when he punched him in the face, I was like, yeah, he deserves this. 100%.
Okay.
100%. He deserves to get, clocked in the face once from...
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Gar gets left behind to take care of Connor.
Yeah.
He has his whole captain's log, stardate, whatever,
for a whole 4 days.
But I like how
he's
he does
bored out of his mind after day
great.
2.
Right.
He's done.
Right. I thought it was pretty good, but the whole thing is call Bruce when you get up, Bruce Wayne. No, Bruce Springsteen. I like Gar's character. But I'm still wondering, why is he just this guy right now? He's Beast Boy, and he's still, we saw him turn to a snake at one point, never talked about again.
He has done nothing this season.
No.
Nothing.
So there's that. He's got one job. That's all he has to do is call Bruce, which he clearly does not do. He starts playing video games with Connor, realizes he's great at gaming, and he's like, therefore, you can be a superhero.
He calls Bruce.
And
he does.
Bruce doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't pick up. It goes to an answering machine or whatever, and he just hangs up and gives up.
Yeah.
Well, I called Bruce. Great. He didn't pick up. Well.
Anyway, that's that. Fade gets some kind of bug in his head. His eyes go white, and he's no longer him.
That was so stupid. That was so stupid. That purple blob was the dumbest looking thing I've ever seen. It was so early 90s CG. Not even CG, early 90s.
It was Smallville grade. That's
early 90s. Early 90s video game effects. It was so bad.
This whole episode was Smallville. Even later on, when she just kills Fade, and it just turns into a black pile of dust, and just dissipates. That was just what? And all that's left behind is a hologram from Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Come on, it was a Star Wars hologram of her.
Pretty much what
Blackfire.
It was.
Just okay, all right. You got Ellis's sister after they have this karaoke night, which okay, whatever.
This bothered me.
So, yeah,
he didn't know the words, and you could clearly see that the lip syncing he was doing wasn't Wasn't it?
I think that the two of them actually sang it in a studio and had a ton of effects on their voice. But
Really?
it wasn't matched up right.
That would surprise me.
I'm not surprised. Lots of actors sing as well.
But he wasn't singing. He was just kind of opening and shutting his mouth. Like,
yeah.
It's like, okay.
Okay, well,
sure.
The voice matched up enough where I could buy it.
Fine.
I'll say. You've got Dick and Slade. Well, first of all, it's Dick and Jericho's mother, and she's like, "Sorry, you're not going to get my apology. I've got nothing but pain for you." He talks to Slade, who's just sitting in a easy chair in the other room, and he's just like, "Yeah, well, Dick Grayson, I sentenced you to live alone. You know, you're never going to be with your Titans family again, so deal with that." Slade's like weak, and has like a scar on his face, and he looks, and he's like struggling to get up, and he's having this like internal battle. I'm gonna ask you guys, do you have any thoughts? What's going on?
Did we miss something?
He's weak.
No, did we miss like a fight that he was in to get him here?
Okay, so you don't have any theory about what's going on.
No. That's not. I'm asking, did we miss something, or is there going to be something where it's like he was in a fight, he got handled, and now he is hurt, or is this something else completely? Like the drugs that they gave him in the military are coming back to haunt him.
Yeah, that could be a thought. Like,
okay,
that he needs to be on something. I mean, there's so many different. I think. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what just happened there.
You answered your phone.
Yeah, I know. My wife is having some kind of struggle. Anyway. Yeah, something's going on here, and I was very confused the first time watching it. Second time watching it, I'm just like, oh, I guess it's this. And I guess I understand that. I can't talk about it right now, though. So
Fine.
That's all I'll say. That's why I was asking if you guys had some insight and some thoughts on it. You don't have any thoughts on what's going on with him, Chuck?
No.
Okay.
Not as of yet.
All right.
Okay.
So Hank and Dawn are now done because Hank is just like, yeah, you're right. You know, she's right. You know, I'm leaving. Okay, whatever. And he goes back to drugs.
It's not the. There's something else that happens earlier in this episode too. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go.
Drugs. He doesn't go back to drugs.
Well, he's sitting next to the guy at the bar, and he's like, "Where does a guy gotta go to get the good stuff around here, or something like that?" Like clearly looking for drugs.
He orders a Diet Coke, and then he looks at the guy and says, "Where do I get some real stuff?" Like,
yeah,
he's not talking about alcohol because he would just have ordered it there. He wants drugs.
I guess I know that he wants.
So
but he hasn't gone back to it yet.
Not yet.
Because the episode ended.
Yeah, pretty much. I love earlier in this episode too, and it makes no sense either. Like this. Okay, so the split with Hank and Dawn doesn't make sense. I don't understand why that had to happen.
Nope.
But even earlier in the episode, when everybody's leaving Dick's side, and Donna's like, all right, I'm out of here. And Rachel's like, oh, I'm coming with you. And then in the next scene where we see them, Rachel has to bail on Donna for no reason at all. And she's like, I gotta go. And that's the last time we see her. And it's like, why?
Yep.
Why? What happened? What? You just like,
idea.
I want to go with you. Oh, I have to hold you at bay so I can get away now. Woo. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And they do and again, I'm harping on the whole Rachel thing because it doesn't make sense. It was clearly established that she really didn't know how to use her powers, and she's perfectly capable to do that here.
Yep. Absolutely.
She knows exactly what she's doing.
Yep.
Okay.
The last few episodes, she knows what she's been doing.
Yeah, but it's like, where's the explanation for her, like... Because the last time we see her talking about this, her and Corey are like, oh, this bracelet keeps the powers at bay, and we think that that's going to happen. It goes nowhere. It goes nowhere, and then all of a sudden, she's perfectly able to do the things. Like...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, they totally just threw away what they built with her. Especially with them starting the season the way that they should have ended the other season. It seemed like they were going to go somewhere further with it, but obviously the show's not all about her, so they wouldn't do that. But you would think they would still build on her character. I will tell you this. Even into third season, I don't think anything happens to add to her character yet. Maybe they finally get it near the end of the 3rd season or in the 4th. We finally see her final form because 4th is the end, right? We're done after 4.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, it's such a they threw away the character, which I'm okay with it, but I just wish they didn't lead up to it going somewhere. Like, we're not seeing her progress at all. We're just seeing her be the the emo kid there. That's it. Anyway, that's that. Dick wants to go to Greenland. Nope, never mind. Just gets himself arrested.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny the way he did it too. He's just like, hey, and he just starts beating up the security guards, throws their guns, and then just stands there, gets on his knees and waits to get arrested. Okay, that's this episode. And honestly, there's not much more to say about it. It's like, yeah, that's what happened. Why? Why did these things happen the way they did? There's not a lot of explanation as to why. It's just all it does is leave you with questions. Where's this character gonna go? Did these two just break up? What's gonna happen with this woman? The cockeyed lady who's just.
I had that written down. I had that written down. Cross-eyed sister is big mad. It's like.
Yeah, like. I don't even understand. And they have a valid point too, like, oh, where were you? Oh, in lockup for a possession beef. It's like, yeah, you can't say anything to us either. You're all drug addicts. It's like, okay. It's just really, none of it really made sense. I did like Gar and Connor because Connor is like a child and Gar is a child. The two of them interacting, and I thought it was kind of funny. He was like, oh, I can help. You stop bad things from happening to people. So then you got this guy. It's just like, oh, they're hurting me. And like they're holding him up against the car. And he's like, oh, these are the bad guys, and throws him around. Yeah, that makes sense for his character.
A little bit.
That was the only part that really made sense.
It also makes complete sense why, call Bruce.
Yeah, why you shouldn't call Bruce.
This is well above your pay grade.
And I love Gar just turns around and runs away. Whoops. Sorry. I'm out. That makes sense. I mean, what's he going to do in the situation?
He can't do anything. He can't do anything.
No, he just get arrested. That's all he can do.
Pretty much.
But we don't even know where Connor went. We have no idea what happened to Connor. Because then I love it because Connor's doing a crypto jumps in and joins in too. Because he doesn't know any better. He's just a faithful dog. Okay. Honestly, yeah, I agree with you. Like, why? What exposition? Great. This shows what everybody. This shows why the next episode's going to start. That's all it is.
Chuck,
any thoughts?
I was okay with it.
Okay.
You were okay with the episode? Okay.
I liked it because it actually showed them. It showed the entire team. All these ensembles always go to a place where everybody breaks up. It was just that episode. And I'm fine with that because they have to now build up. I think there are dumb parts like the purple blob. It looked horrible. Him throwing the police officer. That did look horrible. However, it was still something that was needed for them to progress on. If they didn't get to this point, there'd be no progression at that point. He had to come out and say something. We all knew that something bad was going to happen when he said something, which is why he didn't in the first place, because he was afraid of this happening.
Yeah.
Now he does this, and exactly what he was afraid of happens, and now he has to find a way to bring everybody back together and prove himself. And in the end, he does that by becoming Nightwing and the true leader of the Titans. If this did not happen, that would not happen.
I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. The only problem that I have with this is they're doing a setup where Dick as Nightwing is going to be what faces off with Deathstroke. And I'm sorry, but just like the whole concept of, transformation and you have a new costume now and now you can beat the guy. And it's like, no, it shouldn't be that easy.
It's not. It's not.
Don't say anything. Don't even allude to anything. The reason why I say Spider-Man 3 is because when he becomes Spider-Man again, after becoming Venom, he is in his right mind and he is more powerful because he's actually in his right mind and he's clear-headed and he's fighting for the right reasons at this point. Dick hasn't been fighting for the right reasons up to this point. Now now his mind is getting clear. He's let go of everything. He can now release his past of Bruce. He can release his past of the death of Jericho. He's releasing all of this stuff. He is ridding all of that. He's doing it's a redemption story that's happening now. And then when he becomes Nightwing, this is just my theory. When he becomes Nightwing, it's now because he's going beyond where he used to be because he's now been redeemed.
Yeah.
I understand. I just think it's tropey cliche. Like, it worked for Rocky 3. And that's really about it. Like any other time that this has been introduced, it's like, oh, the character went through a transformation, but there was no like.
But every superhero, it's Iron Man 3, it's Spider-Man 3, it's Rocky 3.
Yeah,
it's all of,
I know.
It's Thor 1. It's all of these exact same.
Yeah, they lost what they had, and they have to find a way to redeem.
It's just now they're doing it with a big ensemble versus just one person.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I get it. I'm not saying it was a bad episode. It was more just like there could have been a lot more going on in it than what we got. It was just showing everybody lose.
Normally
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
But it's not out of nowhere though, and the reason why is because Dick comes over and says, "Hey, guess what? I've been lying to you guys for 10 years, basically." So now they all split up, and the reason why it's happening is not because they're out of nowhere. It's because they all split up.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't split up, then it would never happen.
Rachel bailing on Dawn out of nowhere doesn't make sense. Hank and Dove. I'm sorry.
That part does make sense. Hank is leaving Dawn because he's like, I don't want to go back to where I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this. And he's at this point, he's just living in an emotional state where he's blaming somebody else for his own issues, and he's trying to he's just taking off because he's mad.
So a cockeyed woman is like to blame for. Come on.
Yeah, that seemed like.
I must have missed that part.
No, the woman.
The sister.
Woman was like, the sister.
With the one cockeye going to the side. You
brother.
Killed my brother.
Yeah.
But you were in lockup. What were you doing there? Blah, 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 blah.
Right after the karaoke night, she saw them like, oh, you don't remember us dumb country folk?
The one I was asking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't, I don't know. That whole thing doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense that would trigger him to just
it doesn't make,
all right, I'm done with you.
Yeah, that's a bit much. That's a leap. That's a massive leap. They were just singing together, lovey-dovey, making out on the truck and everything else, and then all of a sudden a cockeyed woman comes along and she's like, you killed my brother, and I have to leave you now.
Valid point.
I need drugs. This makes zero sense.
No, it doesn't, because he is actually... Now he's like, he thought he got rid of this part of his past. Now he's dealing with it, and he doesn't know how to deal with it any other way but going back to drugs. And I'm willing to bet that if Dawn was like, I'll go with you, she would have gone with him. But she wants to stay. He just doesn't want to be there. She wants to stay. He wants to leave the place, not her. And she's like, fine, go. I'm not going to just continue chasing you. She doesn't want to chase him anymore.
He specifically said maybe the world doesn't need Hank and Hawk and Dove or whatever.
Because
Hank and Dawn either.
Because he's talking out of a place of depression. And
but that's the point that me and Lee are trying to make, that it's out of nowhere. Yeah. This is out of nowhere.
They were happy and awesome before, but then one woman shows up and threatens them.
So I'll say this: you guys.
And the same thing before you go on that, the same thing happens with Rachel when she wants to bail on Donna out of nowhere.
That part I don't get.
And it would be fine if it was just like, wait, stop the car, I changed my mind, I gotta go. That would have been fine. But no, the black goo holds her in the car while she leaves. Why did that need to happen?
No idea.
No idea. That part I don't get. But have you guys?
I feel like it's across the board.
Yeah.
Not across the board everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like in both of those situations, it didn't make sense.
The only character in this episode that I understood was Gar. He's a dumb
Yeah.
kid who wants to be more involved than he should, and he thought that he could handle the situation, and he didn't. All young people do that. All young people think that they're more capable than they actually are. That's the only character in this episode that I actually was like, okay, this.
Oh, and Jason Todd, he just walked out. Like
What?
a few
Yeah, where did he?
episodes ago, right?
Yeah. Him and
In this episode, he walked out.
Him and
yeah,
Rose.
him and Rose. Yeah.
He and Rose.
I understand that. I understand everybody walking away from Dick. I don't understand what these characters did once they were gone. Because like that's why I say like this episode feels like a giant reset, and I don't really know why. There was some things that happened here that didn't need to happen.
No.
The Rachel part I get. That makes no sense. The Corey part I understand because now she has another
Yeah,
And
how's
she
she
lost
gonna
her
get
ship.
home?
Yeah.
How's this
Exactly.
gonna happen?
I'm coming for you. She's like, okay, good luck with
Well,
that.
Good luck with
And then
that.
kaboom. And I'm like, oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do now?
She's not going to get home.
No,
She's gonna
she's
fly.
No, she's supposed to be part of the Titans all the time, so she's not going to go home. This is just their way of writing her into it permanently. That's how
But
they're doing that.
she marches off and takes off her jacket like she's on a mission now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That one's a little. I don't know. The whole Corey thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Couple episodes into season 3, I don't remember Corey at all.
Yeah,
I don't
very
remember
nice.
anything happening with her.
Can you please stop talking about what happens in season 3?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying up until that.
I don't
Like
care.
Corey is such a
I don't.
toss away character in this season.
I don't care. I
There's
don't
a-
want to go into that knowing that.
She's not even connected to them. Like she popped up just to be like talk to Rachel for a moment and then give her a bracelet and then disappear again.
What
Like,
was the
she's
whole
so
point? What was the
disconnected from
like?
everybody.
That's another thing about this episode. The whole point or the whole dynamic of like Rachel and Corey's relationship building up to
Yeah.
this point, and it's like, oh,
Uh-huh.
now you want to go with Donna for what? Corey's right there, like the only other person in
Yep.
this situation that you have any kind of relationship with.
Because Corey's not leaving Dick. That's why.
Meh.
Corey didn't.
She had
leave-
nothing to do with it.
Corey didn't leave Dick. Corey is sticking with Dick. She's just going to take care of something. She's not actually walking away from him.
Mhm.
If the scenario of what's happening didn't come up, she would have stayed with Dick and Gar.
Okay, I guess. I
Mhm.
guess.
No, because she even says to them, they'll turn around and they'll come back.
Yep.
They'll be back.
Yeah.
There was a
And they
neat
will.
little Easter egg in this episode that I liked when Gar was hanging up the post-it notes. All work and no play make Gar
Yeah.
a dull boy.
I did like that.
I was
did
like, okay,
enjoy
that's
that.
kind of cool. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool. I like that.
Yep. No TV, no beer, make Homer something.
That too.
I enjoyed the episode overall. The Rachel part I don't get. The Hank and Dawn part I was fine with because I think that we've all had great days and then that one stupid thing turns it around on us and we're pissed off the rest of the evening. And
Yeah.
stupid things cause
This comes from being married.
no, even having if you're dating, if you're friends with somebody,
Yeah.
that's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that does show a real life aspect of how things can happen. I think that people don't like it because it looks like real life and it's not part of a movie or a TV show. And we need to suspend reality to a point when reality hits a TV show. You go, oh, I don't like it.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't seem like it's following a story that we would generally watch otherwise.
They're just showing a way of making everything fall apart, so that way they can bring it all back together again, and they're all going to be stronger and better for it in the long run.
I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But I have a similar problem with this like I had with the finale and the premiere. It's like this I don't know.
The way this episode ended was a weird ending.
Yeah.
It should, like Leah's right, it should be like a season finale. Dick getting arrested and then it just credits. You're
So
like, wait a minute.
in within 4 episodes, he has to get out of jail, become Nightwing, and whatever happens with Deathstroke. Inside of 4 episodes.
Seeing crazier things happen.
Yeah, I
in
know.
Shorter TV shows.
I know. It's just that seems like there's a lot on the table there. And I think it's a mistake when you waste time like this with a filler episode loaded with a whole bunch of exposition and no actual plot. Like I'm not a fan of that kind of storytelling. I never have.
They're setting up the plot.
There are ways to do. The show has never really done that before, though. The show's always been really clever to intersperse exposition with plot development. Like, it's been pretty consistent with that. Here, it was all exposition. Nothing except for Connor going nuts on the cops. But aside from that, it's like, okay, all right,
yeah.
You know what he said?
Yeah, I'm kind of toast with it.
Yeah.
Great. I guess we're over then.
Unless you had something else to say about it.
There really isn't. There really isn't anything more to go into with this episode.
This leads up to the next episode. That's what it really comes down to. It's like there's not much more to say about it until we go further with it. And I don't want to say anything else that's going to be further down the line because that would just be spoiling it for you guys. So that's why I got to be kind of quiet. Because I remember all this stuff happening. I just didn't think it was an entire episode of this. I thought it was like the end of an episode, not the entirety of it. So,
well, there was the battle that you had to deal with now, the internal battle with Connor, which we talked about. That's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Because this is like Superman 3, but it's Lex is the bad guy versus the. That's what they're trying to portray in this episode.
He's an interesting character. I'll give him that. It's definitely it's funny, different.
Like, when we first see him, it's just his butt. He's like, "Hi." That was pretty funny.
With a giant bowl of cereal.
Hello. Yes.
He gets a massive giant bowl of cereal.
He's been in a coma for like a month.
Sure.
I'd be hungry too.
And I'll add to what the two of you said. I love the way it ended. With Dick going down like that. I love the way that it ended. It was fantastic. Yeah. It was fantastic. So there is that. I just wish I knew. Is he going away just so that he's out of the way and not bothering anybody anymore? Like that's kind of what I took from it.
He's doing that. Plus, he also just believes at this point, like, I do deserve to be in prison, after what I did. That's kind of what's that right now. He's like, I don't want to be around people. How can I just not be around people?
And I firmly, I don't know. And I firmly disagree with you, Lee, when you said, oh no, he didn't kill Jericho, blah, blah, blah. No, Jericho still would have died regardless. Because Dick showed up when he shouldn't have, and he promised him, no, I'm not going to interfere with your business. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to follow you. I promise. He broke his promise. He ended up there. And it's definitely, Jericho's death is definitely at Dick's feet.
Jericho jumped in front of a blade.
No, he did not.
He basically did. His dad should have looked at what he was doing.
Yeah.
I'm saying he's got one eye, but still, it's like he did not pay attention to what was happening, did not care enough about his son. He was more focused on Dick Grayson than killing Dick Grayson than taking care of his own son. And that's why in this episode he says, you know what? He didn't you didn't deserve him. None of us deserved him. He was better than all of us. And we let him down. And that was and I think that that hit Slade.
Of course.
He's like, and it's like that's a valid point. He
it is a valid point, but at the same time though, if Dick Grayson never showed up there, Jericho would never have been dead.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
But you can say Jericho is dead because of me, not I killed Jericho.
I know that what he's saying in that is his emotion.
I know. I get what he's saying. It's just.
So you got to go with what he's actually saying and trying to portray, and not just take the literal part out of it and go, "Oh, he's wrong."
I know.
But that's what you're doing.
No,
though.
that was my argument was just that. Just that. Technically, the words he said were not entirely true.
But that's a common trope that a lot of people do though in a lot of TV movies.
If you were in a courtroom and someone said,
shows and movies.
If you were in the courtroom and someone said, "Did you kill Jericho?" and he said, "I killed Jericho," that is a lie. He lied in court.
I get that. Well, he's not in court.
But that's my point.
It's the guilt.
I understand it's the guilt. I understand it. I'm just saying they said that to throw us off because we understand he feels totally responsible for it. And to him, he killed Jericho because he put him in that position.
And I'm with Wade. And guess what? And then in this, the way I look at it is he killed Jericho.
I understand that. But he physically did not.
We're not
He did not physically kill Jericho, but it is.
Every
This
sense
is
of
not
the actual literal word. He did not kill that boy.
This is not Slade's fault.
This
is Dick's fault.
Both of their fault.
This is Dick's fault.
No,
it's not equal.
fault.
This is Dick's fault.
I
promise I will not show up.
Attention.
I promise I will not follow you. I am not going to interfere. He shows up anyway, and it's like it's so. This is Dick's fault.
Hold on. He even admits to his mother, I used him so I could get to Slade.
Right.
I was using him the entire time.
Yes.
I'm wrong. If he never did that, Jericho would never be dead.
All I am saying.
We
I
get
agree
that.
with everything you're saying. I agree. Hear me. What I stated the last time was they purposely threw us off because he said those specific words, which made it seem like he took the kid and killed Jericho. Like he killed him in order to upset Slade to that degree. Later on, you find out that he is the reason Jericho is dead, which is different than the literal words. They did it to intrigue us, to start questioning what kind of person is Dick. But we're seeing what kind of person Dick is because he did use this kid, but he did feel bad about it, and he tried to step in and do things his way and blow everybody else off, and that's why everybody's mad at him. We're seeing him have his struggle between what he should do, what he shouldn't do, and what he did do.
I hear what you're saying, and the true crime fan of me is going to come out a little bit. If he was in a courtroom, he would be held liable.
Absolutely.
For Jericho's death.
Right. Uh-huh.
That's all I'm saying.
But so would his father, because his father literally killed him.
Fine.
Right, but when he's sharing his story with Jason on top of the roof, and he tells him, and that's when the flashback happens. When he's sharing that, he's not sharing it from a literal point of view.
I know that. I'm not arguing with you.
That's the reason why they're doing it, though.
Why? I understand that.
But here's what we're saying, though, is we don't think you do because you're saying that they're doing it as a literal way to throw you off, and we're saying that no, they're not trying to throw you off.
The writers of the show?
Yes.
I don't think they were trying to throw anybody off.
No, it's not.
Because even after watching the episode, I still agree that it's his fault. He had him killed. He's just saying out of his own emotions and his own guilt of, I'm the one who caused this death. I killed him. Yes, I don't think he was trying to throw him off. I think that you're taking the words out of context from what was actually being done, and you're running with a literal thing and taking all the context around it and throwing out the window and saying, this is what happened. And you can't do that.
Everybody, and I feel like it's really relatable too, because everybody's been in a position or a situation in their life where it's like, wow, I feel guilty because of this thing, even though I didn't do it. I was kind of involved. I could have done something else. I didn't do anything else. Does that make me responsible? Yeah. Does it make me guilty of it? No, especially
when it comes down to death. Everybody says, I wish I spent more time with Grandpa. Everybody has all these guilt things when it comes to somebody that they care about that dies. So in his situation where he was responsible for his death, he will straight up say, I killed him.
Right.
Because of his guilt. I get that. I get it. I agree with everything you guys are saying. All I'm doing is explaining what I said before. That's it.
That the writers were trying to throw you off.
That the people who made the show know how to intrigue you. And they used that exact term and then moved on from it. And then brought it up in the next episode. That's what they did. Purposely to get you on the edge of your seat. He did? How? Oh, And then you watch it like, oh, that makes sense because he feels guilty. Yes. It's just a way to get people intrigued. That's all I was saying. Again, I agree with everything you said. I understand it's about his guilt. I get it. Not sure why we're bringing this back up again because I got it last week too.
The reason why I'm bringing it back up again is because I still feel like that three-way fight scene should have been saved.
After this. After the whole Jericho, after knowing that Jericho was killed.
Yeah.
Just wait till the end of the season.
I'm just saying. I wanted the emotional gut punch. So,
yeah.
But it is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, this episode was a big nothing burger. We all said what we wanted to say. We're beating a dead horse at this point, and we're all tired.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we're done for tonight.
I enjoyed it. Yep.
Okay.
Have a great one, everyone.
See ya.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Lee from Black and White Reviews here. Just wanted to take a moment to thank you for tuning in, checking out our conversation. If you like this discussion and you want to hear more about this specific subject or other things, check us out on our podcasting sites, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, or Google Podcasts. We're up on pretty much all of them. So, yeah, thanks again for popping by. And, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.